So you have an hour?
Okay, good.
Home? Is that what
We
you're
have the backup.
Like an hour 20. I'll stay there till tomorrow.
Ready?
Ready.
Good. Okay. All right. I am so pleased to be joined here at the ANNIKA, driven by Gainbridge at Pelican by our third-time champion, Nelly Korda, and tournament host, ANNIKA Sorenstam. Nelly, start with you. Just the emotions of the day. A really great back nine to take your third victory here at this golf course that I know you love so much.
Yeah, it's so nice to play in front of family and friends, so close to home. I think that's what makes me so comfortable out here. Didn't start out the day the way I wanted to, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And to have that run that I did, those 5 holes, yeah, I just kept myself in it all day. Didn't really make too many big mistakes, but just couldn't get really anything going. But to go on that run that I did, it feels really nice.
Awesome. I'll start here with questions, whoever has any. Sarah, you want to kick us off?
You're two people that are starting to be known by only one name in golf. ANNIKA, for you, just how special is it to have somebody like Nelly, Rolex Player of the Year, Rolex #1, doing things that you used to do back in your day, win your event?
Yeah, I think any tournament would like, the top player to win. I think we've had a wonderful field this week, and I think it got quite exciting until Nelly got on that run. But, I mean, you never know until it's over. But, it's always great to have the #1 player in the world play in your tournament and then play so well. And like she said, she has family and friends here. Everybody knows her, and so it's a great story. And I just think the way she played this, this course, it was a good way to just display how good women's golf is, especially around the greens. Maybe you couldn't see it on TV, but the greens were lightning, and she handled it so beautifully. So I think we're very happy, to have a player of her caliber to, obviously this year it's been a tremendous year, not just being #1, but really captured every award there is, I think. So good for you, and happy to have you as our champion.
And Nelly, for you, I know there was one special person that showed up the last 3 holes. Can you just talk about what it meant to have Sebi here?
Oh, I didn't know that he was there on the last 3. Just saw him on 18 when I made that last putt. Karen kind of pointed it out on the green, and never won in front of him, but family is so important to me, and for him to drive up, it's not that close from my parents' house or where he lives. It's an hour 40. So for him to drive an hour 40 with 3 holes remaining, 1, he was very confident in me, and 2, it was just really nice to have his support and be out here. I mean, we haven't seen each other since the middle of summer, and to hug him, and it was really, really nice.
Nelly, given all that you've been through this year, does this win feel different to all the rest?
Just makes me really, really grateful for my team. The middle of the year was a very, very tough part of the year, but I'm so grateful to have people that I can lean on and that will be with me through the hard times. I feel like in the world of sports, when someone is going through a hard time, aka the player, people around them tend to leave or search for something better. And my people stuck with me and grind out the hard times. And for that, I'm super, super grateful.
And you gave a shout out to your physio. You said you spent
Kim,
a lot of time.
Kimberlina, yep. A lot of time.
What specifically has she spent the most time helping you with, like, physically?
Just a lot of neck strengthening, a lot of it. It was 3 times a day that I was seeing her, and she lives like 40 minutes away, so she was coming to my house 3 times a day, and then before and after practice, to every workout. She needs a vacation that I will gladly pay for.
And then, ANNIKA, a few people know what it's like to win this many events in a year, but you do. Can you put in perspective how hard it is to do that on tour, and what makes Nelly so special?
Yeah, it's been a while, so I don't remember everything, but obviously it's fun doing it, and when you're on a roll, you're on a roll, and I'm just trying to think what it would be like today. It is very competitive out there, and you play tournaments in Europe, you play in Asia, you play everywhere, and it's just very tough competition. And I think the hardest part is probably just to keep motivated and keep working and trying to get better. And like she said, even though when you have, maybe a few bumps in the road, to keep working and believing in yourself and keeping, keep working towards those goals and what's next. And be interesting to see what your goals will be for 25, because that's really, you get to a new point in your career. You're like, well, what am I going to do now? So, but like I said on the green there, I mean, I just hope you're enjoying it. It's so easy just to kind of keep going forward that you forget really all the hard work that you put in to get there, because, you set the bar so high, so you almost expect it every week. So there's a fine line where you push yourself, but still can enjoy the moment and appreciate what you have done.
Nelly, in that stretch of 5 birdies on the back 9, was there a point at all where it kind of felt like maybe it did back in the spring when everything might have seemed to roll along?
I mean, I was playing really well all week. I hit some loose shots on the front 9 and may have not rolled in the putts on the front 9, but on the back 9, I always felt really, really good. I just stuck to my game plan. I just needed one putt to really go in, and that did on number 11. And from then on, I just felt a little bit more comfortable on the greens. I mean, they're super slick. It may not seem to it on the outside, but they're so fast. And with the amount of break, and they're tricky too, they're very subtle where one putt can break both ways. So being committed to your line on these slick greens and, hitting it hard enough, but not hitting it too hard where you have another 4-footer coming back, that was the key. So for me to hit it a little closer and to roll some putts in felt really good.
And I know that they all fall under the calendar year 2024, but considering everything that has happened in between, how far back does it seem to the days of Chevron or winning in Bradenton?
Years ago. It feels like lifetimes ago. I mean, this life kind of goes by in a blur, in a sense. Like Annika said, I mean, sometimes you do have to step back and smell the roses, but with sports, you're just constantly looking ahead. You're constantly going, what's next? What's next? You're never kind of reminiscing. So sometimes taking a step back and putting the phone away, going on a vacation, and realizing like what you just did is really nice. But yeah, I mean, the beginning of the year feels like a long time ago. Yep.
So you mentioned out on the green that you did feel some nerves, but you sure didn't look like you were nervous.
Yeah.
Can you kind of elaborate a little bit on what was going on?
I mean, I was in contention after a really long time, and I felt like in the middle of the year when I was in contention, I just made a really stupid mistake or made a really big error that turned out to be, that took me straight out of the tournament. So for me, I was obviously trying to focus on what was right in front of me and just playing golf. But at the end of the day, I mean, you are nervous. You're in the battle of it. You're going kind of, in a sense, head to head. So you're feeling all the nerves, but you're trying to stay composed out there. And that's why I have Jason, who I believe in, who I have spent a lot of years with, that I can rely on and lean on. And also, distractions are good. You get into the zone, but you can't be in the zone for too long because then it can eat you alive. So looking out into the distance and talking to Jason about something other than golf has really helped me.
Nelly, what is the significance of having Annika's name on this event, and how significant is it to you to now win it with her name on it?
Yeah, I mean, Annika is someone that I've looked up to and so many other people have looked up to. She is a driving force in our game. So having her out here, playing in front of her and having her name on the tournament just makes it so much sweeter to win it. But also, I think it just grows the game because you have all the legends coming back trying to grow it as well. And I feel like that's the great thing about golf, is that everyone's involved and everyone's a family.
Nelly, how do you feel that you've grown as a person this year through all that you've accomplished?
A lot. I feel like I've definitely matured a lot. I've realized what really matters truly in life. And, through the tough times, I would say, you're not really grateful for them. You're like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Oh, here we go again, But you have to be grateful for those times because they do they do help you grow. They make you realize what really truly matters. And the people that really truly look out for you and are there for you will stick through it with you.
And then Annika, what is it about this golf course that brings out the best players at the top of the board each and every year?
Well, it's quite challenging. I think it's a second shot type course where you got to hit your iron shots in the right place. I mean, these greens are so undulated. Can I take a little water?
Sorry.
Want to answer the question?
Yeah, you want to answer that?
Yeah. I mean, it's open off the tee, but it's very difficult going into the greens, especially with how kind of soft the fairways were and how firm the greens were this year and how slick they were. I think you have to be on top of your game. I mean, it's so grainy around the greens that you have to chip it well, you have to putt it well, and you have to hit your second shots really well as well. So, I mean, you have to just be on top of it, and I feel like that's maybe why the top players play well out here, because everything kind of has to click.
Were these the fastest greens you played this year?
No, I think U.S. Women's Open were really fast. Obviously, those were way more undulated, back to front, but these were probably top 5 fastest greens I've played on this year, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was going to say.
Nelly, for all you've done this year, I think they mentioned on the telecast it was the first time you'd birdied 5 in a row.
Oh, yeah? No, I've definitely birdied 5 in a row.
definitely.
I know that.
This year, yeah.
Nah, this year maybe, but I birdied 5 in a row, 2016 Sabonic U.S. Women's Open to make the cut.
Love that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you take us inside that zone a little bit? And
I didn't even know that I birdied 5 in a row until I actually looked at my scorecard. It's kind of like it goes in like a blur. I mean, I birdie 11. I finally get one there. You wait for such a long time on 12. It's a tough tee shot. Stick it close. Obviously, I have like a 4-footer. Drain that, and then the longer one I made on 13, and then 14. Reachable par 5. I mean, you kind of expect to make a birdie there. And then I kind of pulled my tee shot on the par 3 just a little bit, but it worked out. So
What'd you hit
sometimes a 6-iron. Sometimes you just got to have a little bit luck on your side too.
And Annika, what do you remember that zone? I mean, when you like that and things are clicking so well, what's it like to be inside of that as a player?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we work so hard for. And golf at those times seems simple, right? Big fairways, big greens, big cups, and you have a lot of confidence. I think, the better you play, it just kind of keeps on going, and you believe in yourself, and you really don't think about bad shots. You really don't think about bad bounces. It's just that, the positive vibe that you have.
But does it humble you after?
Oh, it does.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. I mean, that's the thing, when you start hitting bad shots, then you actually get the opposite effect. Then that's the only thing you see then. Then you just see narrow fairways, small greens, and no cup, and then you just think of bad shots. But when you're playing well, I mean, I remember just standing on the tee. I mean, I never saw bunkers. I never saw water hazards. You just see birdies. And I think that confidence, it's so important, and I'm sure that's what Nelly is feeling right now. I know it's been some up and downs, but you have it in you, and when you can have that mindset and not let the negative creep in, it's just you make good decisions, and it's easy to make decisions, right? You don't question yourself. You're just like, okay, you see a cup right, and you hit a cup right, but when you don't have that, then you're like, well, maybe it's only half a cup, and then that hesitation, and then when you stand over the ball, it's like you're not really committed properly.
And Nelly, you did talk about the middle of the year sometimes when there are doubts in there when you played. What helped you get through that?
Just my team, my support system. I mean, I do truly rely on it a lot, and I think it's really important to have good, genuine people around you to, when you get knocked down, to stand up, and sometimes you just need a little bit of help.
I know we've got just 2 quick ones here on the Zoom. Alex, do you want to go first?
Yeah, hey Nelly, congrats on the win. Wanted to ask obviously about the win and where it was. Obviously having Sebastian there must have been very special to you. I'm curious, when did you find out he'd be there for you, and what do you think the 19th hole celebration with the friends and family would look like tonight for you after the win?
Yeah, I didn't know he was there until I won. So after I walked off the green, I greeted him and he gave me a massive hug. We talked about him coming out, but I didn't think he was going to, just because he hasn't been home in a long time and probably wanted to spend a little time at home and didn't want to drive over an hour. But I was happy to see him out, and I haven't seen him since the middle of the summer, since I went to see him in New York at the U.S. Open. But yeah, I mean, having my family out here and getting to celebrate with them is super special. But as for celebrations, I have next week, and I don't want to be feeling bad. So I will be going to sleep.
Good luck next week.
Thanks.
Kent, you want to wrap us up here?
Hey Nelly, wanted
Hi.
to go back to the neck injury real quick. You mentioned ahead of the tournament, you rushed your rehab to play these final 2 events.
Yes.
What was the initial timeline for you to fully recover from your neck injury?
I don't know, truly. I don't know the exact timeline. Everyone's body's different. For some people, it may take maybe a little slower. For others, it may be a little faster. But I was seeing Kim for rehab 3 times a day. I really did want to play these last 3 events, but if my body just wasn't cooperating, I just knew that it wasn't going to be smart to play these 2. But I was happy with the progress that I was making, and didn't really play for too long before this event. Didn't really know what to expect going into this event. And just happy that Jamie Mulligan could fly down to see me after, just before this event. He was out here with me on Monday, came to practice with me on Sunday before this event, and then Jason drove over to my side of Florida just before this event to do a 1-day boot camp, and then also did some good work with my first coach, David Whelan. So super grateful for my entire team.
How long were those sessions when you were rehabbing 3 times a day?
It varied, honestly. I mean, it was you can't really overdo it. So between 30 to an hour.
And if this tournament wasn't in Florida, where it was a short trip for you, do you think you could have gotten to the tournament and played with your injury?
Yeah, I mean, if I was feeling the way I was feeling before this event, then yes.
Thanks, Nelly.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.